Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Newsroom. I'm your host, Khalid. But today is the 29th of January 2025. These are the stories that we will be deciphering, highlighting during the course of our show. We'll begin with the Commonwealth Asia Youth Alliance Summit that formally commenced yesterday in Islamabad. It brings together leaders and ministers from around 12 countries to Islamabad to discuss different avenues of collaboration, cooperation, and the future of the youth of these countries, the world, and of course, Pakistan being the hub of it all, is doing the needful to highlight the different issues concerning the youth and what needs to be done in order to empower the youth of the world and the youth of Pakistan. We'll be highlighting different aspects of that. Our Prime Minister also talked yesterday to this summit and highlighted many important aspects like training and equipping the youth and so much more. We'll be highlighting different aspects of that and a general discussion on the youth as well in our first segment. Our second story, ladies and gentlemen, concerns the Chinese Lunar New Year. The year of the snake, as they call it, has started today across the world. There are different references to why the snake and why the lunar year is important for China, what are the different activities or sensitivities that are related to this Chinese New Year. Will be trying to understand different aspects as far as that is concerned as well. Finally, we'll be talking about something that is very personal to me and of course my channel as well. Today is the 12th anniversary of PTV World, Pakistan Television World, that started on this very day in 2013. I had the privilege of being one of the first faces that went on air the same day of its inauguration as well. It has been a very interesting journey since then for everybody involved, including myself and so many of my colleagues. We'll be reminiscing some of those aspects in this third segment. Let's begin with our first segment, and that concerns Caya, as they say, or the Commonwealth Asia Youth Alliance Summit that formally commenced in Islamabad yesterday. Yesterday as well as today have been very important and very hectic days as far as the different meetings, whether it be on capacity building and so much more for the youth of the world, for the youth of the countries that are involved of the Commonwealth, and for Pakistan is concerned. Our Prime Minister also addressed this auspicious gathering yesterday and highlighted many important aspects that were catered to the youth. We have been joined by Imran, Janjua, International Consultant for Youth Development, right here in the studios to discuss many of those aspects and of course what needs to be done as far as the youth are concerned. Thank you very much, Imran, Janjua, to have joined us. Walaikum assalam. Walaikum assalam. Now, this Youth Alliance begins yesterday. There are 12 different countries that are discussing youth empowerment, education, and skill development. Now, I'll begin without mincing any words. Youth empowerment, education, skill development. How important are these three factors for the youth of any nation, including that in Pakistan?
For a young nation like ours, I think it's a unique opportunity because our more than 65% of the population is now youth, and between 15 to 29 years, we are 29%. So it's a unique opportunity for the youth bulge for a country like ours and many other countries, as you asked, from a youth bulge to being converted into a youth dividend.
I'd like to understand, Imran, Janjua, what age group does youth come in? Because there are so many different points of views as far as what youth is all about. What is the age group as far as youth is concerned when we talk of the youth?
It's a general term, but predominantly as we are, the world globally are following the United Nations development program and their data, because many countries like ours, we do not have our own indigenous research like so many other countries from the third world. So right now it's between 15 to 29 years of age. Yeah. So predominantly you're looking at people who are in their education years, and from there they are getting into the job world, to the entrepreneurship, and so yes. But sometimes we can take it up, stretch it up to 35-year-old also.
All right, we can do that. So there's a basic age group of 15 to 29 or 15 to 35 in some rare instances. Capacity building session on climate change happened today. Leadership, stakeholder management, resource mobilization, creating employment opportunities for youth, and promoting entrepreneurship. These are all very important topics. How do you view these from a Pakistani context and from a regional or a global context as well?
First, we need to understand us as a nation, that this is a very, very important time in the history of our country, because our population, as we discussed initially also, are mostly youth now and mostly working also. So basically, this is a great opportunity for government and all other stakeholders, including youth themselves, to get into a development phase and become engines of growth, economic development for individuals themselves, for the communities that they serve, and for the countries also.
All right. When it comes to capacity building or leadership, what needs to be done? What are the avenues that the youth of our country, let's put our country in perspective, need to discover or need to look towards in order to strengthen themselves?
See, we are a poor nation. Let's look at the figures that we have. We talked about United Nations. So we rank among the lowest tier in the list of the countries with our Human Development Index. So we are lying around 160 out of 180 or 86 or 191 countries that we are looking at.
All right.
And so yes, we are lying very low in terms of all indicators are very, very low. But as they say, that there's always a silver lining, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So from here, our backs are with the wall, because in 77 years we have not targeted youth as the key engine of growth and development. And now when the world is realizing, and now we are seeing the youth bulge. So now you see that suddenly the priority of the nation and all stakeholders is youth, and rightly so. So it's never too late. So it's time to start off. When it comes to leadership, so when you talk about positive youth development, there are a lot of areas to look at. It has to start from their, they call it the 5 C's. So C's are the competence, confidence, caring, and character. So basic leadership skills have to be there in our youth for them to get that education later on in their lives, and at the same time then become the engine of growth and positive development for themselves and the country. So we have our work cut out in terms of the population figure that we have, and in terms of the education, how the education levels of our youth are right now. I was looking at some of the stats for you and for your audience, that 80% of our youth who get enrolled, which is very low again, because we are looking at only 1% year-on-year enrollment of our youth in schools, basic primary education, and 80% of them are coming out of the school. Why? Because they don't have any job, they don't have the finances to support their education and their lives also. So it's a dire situation,
All right.
unfortunately, but fortunately, if we look at it from the positive side of things, it's a great journey that we can embark upon.
Speaking of great journeys that you can embark upon, and speaking of employment opportunities, entrepreneurship is one such avenue that is being discussed in this summit as well, and this is something that is extremely important for any individual, myself, yourself including, or the youth of Pakistan or any other nation, in order to stand on their own feet and not be dependent on anybody else. How do you see the future of entrepreneurship, SMEs, as far as the youth of Pakistan or any other country is concerned?
Well, this is for the government to look at. So when it comes to youth are not the only stakeholders in the country, right? So starting from the government to community to other stakeholders, they all, including parents, teachers. So the whole ecosystem needs to be in place. As we talk about, we live in the world of AIs, artificial intelligence. It's between USA versus China as of today. As you must have come to know that the Chinese company has come up with a pretty good innovation in terms of in response to the technological advancement done in AI by the US.
All right.
But at the same time, we need to look at that artificial intelligence or the tech world that we talk about, or even entrepreneurship. We need to have the basic level of intelligence, basic level of competence, basic level of confidence, which needs to be there in all our youth to become those entrepreneurs, so that they can open up their businesses not just here and develop internationally also. So we need to look at youth and their education and their skill development, yes, but at the same time, ethical development, leadership skills, political awareness, their ability to, seek. Most important thing, as I see for youth right now, is to find out their purpose to life. That is very important, because till the time you don't know it, right, and they cannot know it on their own. That's where the ecosystem, that's where the societies, the governments and the communities, the educational institutions, all stakeholders have to come up with that incubation system. See, the most important, we talk about incubation centers for the last 10, 15 years.
And there are many in Pakistan as well, as we speak.
But the biggest one has to be the society itself, where all this youth, which we are talking about 65 to 68%, soon to be 70% of your population. So that youth bulge, if not, they're not being developed or not given the chances to develop, to know exactly what they want to do out of their life. So there are a lot of things, hope itself, motivation, apart from the purpose to life, it's very important to need to have the hope to survive in that system. So incubation center, which I call the society itself, has to give that margin, the hope, the purpose to life, and at the same time ability to develop their skills and the ethical, coherence coming from all stakeholders for them to compete. Why? Because by 2030, there are going to be 1.8 billion people who will be coming in the job market or the business market, right? That's the age which is coming in. And you are a big portion of that, right? As 70%. So like I said again, yes, there can be a silver lining or light at the end of the tunnel, but it's time to get on the right horse and get it going.
Imran, the Prime Minister, while talking to the Caya summit, talks about different avenues where the government has involved itself, and different methodologies that it has undertaken, like Danish schools, like the flagship youth program, like the Punjab Education Endowment Fund. He talks about training and equipping the youth with the most modern technology and techniques. That is what you have just alluded to. But you also talk about purpose of life, hope, development skills and ethical coherence. This all forms part of the development paradigms of the youth of any nation, including that of Pakistan. What should be, in your point of view, in this day and age, the development paradigms of the youth of Pakistan?
We need to know this very clearly. I've been vouching this for many years, and I'm very clear that the real economic development of any country, especially the third world, lies with the youth development, right? So our biggest liability, if converted into, so it's a very simple mathematics that you're looking at. We don't need any stats or survey. So every year, 1 million children are coming into the job market. If they don't have the job, they need to do some business. But again, they are not prepared. They do not know what exactly is the world right now shaping up with. So there is a lot to be done. And in next 5 years, and this has been for the last 10 years, we need in 5 years, 5 million jobs, right?
Imran, also, when you talk of youth development, what are in your point of view, you've talked about some of the issues that pertain to different societies, including here, but what are the key components of effective youth development programs, and how, in your point of view, could they or should they contribute to long-term personal and societal benefits as far as the youth is concerned?
For me, the most important are the 5 C's again that I talked about, right? So you need to develop your youth with their competence, which is required for them to understand, how to take on challenges. Then is the confidence, that is the belief, right, that you need to have to embark on that journey on their own, along with the incubation center or the stakeholders, support, right? Then you need to, and it's not just that you need to live for your own, because the last C, which is caring, that you need to have empathy and sympathy for others, because there is no development in the world. Nobody has developed on their own, and they don't talk about development in the developing world, that is to develop their own selves. It is about developing the others. It's about society development. It's about country development. It's about global development, because we live in, it's a global world that you live in. No one, can live in isolation. So again, when we talk about other important areas, from education to political inclusion to eradication of inequality, all those things which are important for the youth at a specific age. But we need to look at from the right from the very basic level, that which again I said that 5 C's, and then you need to have, for me, the most important thing, which I'm vouching these days, is your well-being. And well-being is your mental health. And when we talk about in Pakistan, the world right now, the most important topic for them is your mental health. And mental health is not just about illness. It is about your capability to handle your life.
And handle the toughest of situations as well.
And the most important thing is to know the purpose of your life. So that that's how you're an individual who can embark on a journey, right? If you do not have an illness for a year or two, which again the stakeholders have to look at. And right now, with the drug addiction to so many other illnesses, and even we live in a digital disorder world also.
True.
Right?
True.
So with the abuse of technology, with no digital literacy or advocacy, so there are a lot of challenges, and not just for youth, but even for the stakeholders.
Let's talk of challenges and let's talk globally. In which way, in your point of view, does youth development impact the formation of identity? Because you're talking of mental health, the formation of identity, self-esteem and leadership qualities in young people. How are these correlated?
All of them are correlated, because without them you cannot achieve the topic that is we are discussing today. An individual can only develop, right, till the time they first of all they know the purpose of their life. At the same time they have the confidence given by the incubation center that we call society right now, or the country that you live in, especially with regards to us.
There needs to be a global representation when it comes to youth, whether it be in one country, Pakistan, or any other country. I think we need to talk globally, and we need to put into consideration all the different genders and the societal impacts of these youth in different areas. Like
partially yes, and partially I would like to disagree, because we have our basics right? From the creation, how we were created, right? What was the dream, all right? What was the mission and the goal by the Caya himself, right? And then in 77 years, we just have to review where we have gone wrong, right? So if we go back to our own basics, we don't need to look at the outer world. In every way, we have everything that is called to develop the 5 C's.
So we need
to develop, to exactly know the purpose of life. And along with that, yes, technology and then so many other things, they are there to facilitate that development. But they are not the ones who are going to dictate it.
Another thing that's very important is policy making. I'm sure you'd agree with me, the role to prioritize youth development in policy making and to prioritize the input of the youth as far as policy making is concerned. How critical is it for governments, for communities to involve the youth as much as possible, to prioritize their development in policy making? And what are the potential long-term economic benefits if they do so starting today?
It's the most fundamental. I'll answer this as the question that you earlier asked, and I could answer that, some of the programs that Prime Minister has launched, right? So it's a good start, but programs are just the interventions. We need to get the basics right, which is the policy formulation.
True.
No country in any field, specifically with regards to youth, you have to have the right policy in place. But where we are going wrong, and not just us, we have not started yet, but even the developed countries where they went wrong, and we can learn from it, and now they are very clear that the youth policies for the youth have to be involved, right? They have to be key stakeholders in every decision-making process, right? So they can exactly dictate that what the coming generations need to embark upon.
All right. Thank you very much, Imran. Janjua, we're a bit short of time. I would have loved to discuss more with you, but that will be for another time.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much for your presence here, and thank you very much for being so candid as far as youth development is concerned, and of course, in the context of the Caya Summit that is happening in Islamabad. There are so many different avenues, opportunities, and potentials that we can, dig in as far as empowering our youth.
We just have to start off.
We just have to start off. I think summits like these are a good start, and also the initiatives that the government is taking or has taken, as you yourself said, are a good start. We need to follow up on that, and we need to implement that, and translate all of those into action. I think this is where we'll move in the right direction. Thank you very much, Imran Janjua, to have stayed on with us for this segment, International Consultant for Youth Development, ladies and gentlemen, talking about Pakistan and the global youth and the importance of the youth in the context of this Caya Summit that is happening. Next, we are going to go to the Chinese Lunar New Year. This is the year of the snake. So many things that I have to ask the correspondent who's going to join us after this. But before that, let's watch this short package on the Chinese Lunar Year of the snake that begins today.
Hello from from Chinese capital Beijing, and Happy New Year to you all. I'm Chen Ling from CGTN. Here comes the most important festival in China, the Spring Festival. It marks the official beginning of the new year in the Chinese lunar calendar.
Each year is associated with a zodiac.
For 2025, we welcome the Year of the Snake.
In Chinese culture, the snake is often associated with wisdom, intuition, and strategic growth. This has inspired businesses to get creative with their celebrations. For China's 1.4 billion people, the Spring Festival is a time for a long-awaited reunion with family. It could involve billions of people traveling across the country.
This sets off the world's biggest human migration, the Spring Festival travel rush. How's the country's transport system handling these challenges? Our reporter Xu Xingchen finds out.
From January 14th to February 22nd, spanning 40 days, China's rail system is expecting 500 million passengers. Yep, you heard that right. More than 14,000 trains are on the move each day to get everyone to their destination.
Riding on an early morning train, a lot of people, and also we're seeing a lot of luggages, large bags that are even taller than an adult human.
This train is part of China's famous Fuxinghao fleet, zooming at up to 350 kilometers per hour. Though on this mountain route, we're going at a chill 160 kilometers per hour, still pretty fast.
I think it's really great. Over the past few years, the country has done a great job improving transportation.
During the Spring Festival travel season in the past, our trains were packed with people, and with the introduction of high-speed trains, travel time has been greatly reduced.
China's colossal railway network is more than just a means to bring people home for the Spring Festival. It's the backbone for 1.4 billion people, connecting families, preserving traditions, and driving the countries forward. Xu Xingchen, CGTN, Sichuan Province.
As travelers return to their hometowns, the celebration usually starts at the New Year's Eve. One highlight of this special night is watching the Spring Festival Gala.
An auspicious and jubilant time of the year. This is the CNG Spring Festival Gala. So, how long has this stage been here? How high can the stage go? How wide does the stage stretch? The Spring Festival Gala stage welcomes the world to join in on the feast and festivities.
While watching this televised celebration, Chinese people enjoy New Year's Eve dinner, known also as the reunion dinner. The menus vary across the country.
I came to the south of the Yangtze River to explore a special cuisine. But first, no visit will be complete in a water town without a boat ride.
I am now in Puyuan in Jiaxing City. This is a popular destination for many Chinese people to celebrate the Chinese New Year. They come here not just for a boat ride, but also for a unique traditional experience, a boat banquet. So today we'd like to bring you a taste of local boat banquet dishes. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
Wow, I think this is really delicious.
Yes, of course. We're the typical Jiangnan water town. You cannot miss any fishes in our water.
That's right. In Chinese, the pronunciation of fish is similar to abundant. So eating fish is thought to bring prosperity in the new year. Next up, the 8 treasure duck. The treasure refers to a variety of ingredients stuffed inside a duck. This dish offers a symphony of flavors and symbolizes wealth and good fortune. As the menu for the reunion dinner differs across China, so do customs and traditions. It's why the Spring Festival was inscribed on UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage List. While the festival is woven with countless customs, at its heart, it embodies the essence of Chinese culture, harmony, unity, and respect for family bonds. Where family is, there's home.
Are you ready to experience the Spring Festival firsthand? We welcome you in China and wish every one of you a prosperous New Year.
Are you ready for the Spring Festival? That is what the New Year, the Lunar New Year, represents for the Chinese and many other Asian communities as well. We have the privilege of having with us Zhou Jlaxin, who is the CGTN correspondent, to whom we'll ask a little bit about, the importance of the Lunar New Year, especially the Year of the Snake. What is the Year of the Snake? What are the different cultural festivities that happen? What is the significance of this lunar year? There are so many questions that come to your mind. So this is what we'll do exactly. We'll ask our brother, our friend, our CGTN correspondent, Zhou Jlaxin, more on that. Over to you.
The Chinese Lunar New Year, also known as the Spring Festival, is the most important traditional holiday in China and celebrated by Chinese communities worldwide. The festival revolves around themes of family reunion, renewal, and auspiciousness, with rituals and customs aimed at welcoming good fortune and warding off misfortune. It is rooted in legends like the defeat of the mythical beast, or Nian, which explains traditions like fireworks and red decorations to ward off the Nian. Its cultural significance for Chinese and the international community is tremendous, as this Spring Festival has now joined the UNESCO list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. And each year corresponds to one of the 12 zodiac animals associated with specific traits, symbolism, and cultural meanings. And this year is the snake. In Chinese tradition, it is respected for its intelligence and connection to ancient wisdom. If you are born in the year of the snake, it is time to embrace transformation and strategic planning. Regarding the celebrations, though they vary a little bit in northern China and southern China, families are used to adorn homes with red lanterns, paper-cut designs, and couplets writing poetic blessings for good fortune and health. And the celebration could span for 2 weeks, starting with reunion dinner on the Lunar New Year's Eve, where a lavish feast would include a traditional food like dumplings hidden with lucky coin in northern China and sticky rice cake in southern China. Elderlies would give children and unmarried elves money in red envelopes to convey blessings and ward off evil. And some families also stay awake past midnight to pray for longevity and ward off evils, with places allowing firecrackers to do so. Now, day one of the New Year is always about starting to visit the temple fairs, where families together can burn incense and offer food to ancestors. And temples host fairs with folk performances, snacks, and prayers for good luck. In southern China, especially in Guangzhou, the capital city of Guangdong province, people would visit flower markets and watch line dances and savor sweet rice balls. People also have a week-long visit to their relatives and friends and exchange best greetings. And in Harbin, the capital city of Heilongjiang province, will host the upcoming Asian Winter Games, and that has no doubt empowered its Arctic charm by turning winter sports into ancient traditions. The Ice City during the holiday honors its past while showcasing its modern roles as a global ice culture capital. And the Lantern Festival would wrap up the 2-week-long Spring Festival. Activities like light design lantern, solve riddles, and eat sweet glutinous ride balls are all about celebrating unity. So this reinforces family ties, honors traditions and cultural heritage, and renews hopes for prosperity. Even amid modernization, its essence, unity and hope, remains timeless. Zhou Jlaxin, CGTN, Beijing.
That was our friend, colleague all the way from China, from CGTN, Zhou Jlaxin, talking to us about the Chinese Lunar Year of the Snake and what are the different festivities that are centered around the New Year. Of course, this is the Spring Festival, and I wish I was there to, be merry and eat all the different delicacies that are, served on the occasion. Nevertheless, a very happy Lunar New Year to all our Chinese friends across the globe and in the People's Republic of China. Our last story, ladies and gentlemen, concerns our own channel, PTV World. Now it is PTV World HD, because now we are broadcasting in high definition. It all began in 2013 on this very day, in this very set, wherein we began with 2 long bulletins and a couple of programs in between. I had the privilege, along with my guest who is right here with me, to be heralding the opening of PTV World with these first 1-hour long bulletins. It was an interesting journey and has been an interesting journey since then. We'll come to that journey, but before that, let's watch a small package on the 12 years of PTV World HD.
The goal of setting up PTV World was to reach out to Pakistani diaspora across the globe and diplomatic missions in Islamabad. PTV World HD is the only English news channel of Pakistan serving the nation with responsibility in disseminating the news. PTV World was declared official channel of SCO during the summit held in Islamabad. This is the only English channel of the country which has the honor to start sign language news bulletins. The credit for development and expansion of PTV World goes to the government for extending all support. PTV World has the credit to cover USA elections live with 2 special correspondents from New York and Washington, D.C. The hybrid nature of this news channel offers a rich mixture of programming, including news, current affairs, entertainment, infotainment, documentaries, and music. Fatima Alvi, PTV World, Islamabad.
It has been a very interesting journey, personally as well as professionally, and I'm sure many of my colleagues would share the same story. Although many of our colleagues are new in PTV World HD, but many of those have remained with us since day one. One of those is right here with me in the studios, Mazhar Nisar, Dr. Mazhar Nisar rather, as I call him, because he's a PhD after all. And I got to know that quite late in the day as well. He is a poet and he has been a very good colleague of mine since this very day in 2013. Mazhar, thank you very much to have joined us.
Thank you, Omar. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on this momentous occasion, I must say.
You know, it has been such a long journey, but such a short one at the same time. You were just reminiscing before this whole thing began, the show began, and you were saying, you know, it has been 12 years and they have passed so quickly. Absolutely. I remember the first day on the set that is right in front of us, we did the news, you did the 7 p.m. and I did the 10 p.m. News on the very first day, and it seems that it was yesterday.
Absolutely. I think it's been an epic journey, and we've all learned on the way, grown, and of course gone into people's homes, shared information, entertainment, tried to inspire people, and also of course to inform opinion, which is a very important role that we have tried to play. And the best part, Omar, is that we have a niche audience, and of course this is the only English language channel. I think that's the discerning quality of this particular broadcast channel. So it's been a great journey, you know, and of course we are one family, and the people of Pakistan, of course, they share a special bond with PTV, and I think PTV World over the last 12 years has done its best to inform, educate, inspire people. Especially, you see, promoting the Pakistan narrative, you know, that has been
very important. You know, another thing, Mazhar, that I feel has been very important, a very important achievement from Pakistan side and from PTV and PTV World side as well, is that of promoting Pakistan's culture, traditions, heritage. We've got a wonderful program called Glorious Pakistan that highlights many of the, you know, areas that we can visit, you know, highlights the touristic capabilities that Pakistan has and that people need to understand and go and visit this beauty that our country has in abundance.
Oh yes, it's completely unmatched, and I think it's a treasure trove which programs like Glorious Pakistan, as you mentioned, have unlocked, and of course so is the case with our morning transmission, which is very powerful, you know.
Exactly.
And of course it's a blend of everything, you know, that you can imagine.
And you know, when it comes to the morning show, we've had Shahzad Khan, who has been there since day one, and he has still been here, and he is the hallmark as far as our morning show is concerned, and he brings such a lot of verve and energy to it. Nevertheless, you know, even our current affairs shows like this one that I'm doing, Newsroom, since a couple of years, have been very important in the fact that we have tried to maintain a certain balance as far as highlighting different aspects of the same story is concerned, and not venture into you know, avenues where a lot you others have ventured.
Yes, well, I think you know, eschewing sensationalism has been the hallmark of PTV World.
And you always have you know, confirmed whether a report is true before airing it, whether it be on news or on our current affairs.
Absolutely, and you see the quality of analysis that is being provided, you know, to the Anglophone audience, also the diplomatic community, you know,
the business community.
Yes, and the Pakistani diaspora, you know, abroad. I think it's excellent and really very balanced, as you say, and I think it's it's the best thing that has happened to the prime time of PTV, that you have this quality program where you can inform public opinion, and I think it becomes all the more important in this age of social media where there's so much clutter of information.
True.
And so much misinformation and disinformation. So I think when you watch your show and of course a couple of others on PTV World, at least it kind of takes the brain fog away and brings some semblance of clarity.
Exactly, as to where things are going, as to where Pakistan is going, as to where Pakistan stands on different avenues as well. Speaking of where Pakistan stands, a very important thing when it comes to any channel in Pakistan, and I feel PTV has been very strong there, is to highlight Pakistan's perspective to different countries. And for that, the interviews of, one of the shows that I also host is that with the diplomats, with the ambassadors, with ministers, with the presidents and prime ministers as well in the past. The fact is that it's very important, A, for people in Pakistan to understand what the other country thinks as far as Pakistan is concerned, what are the different avenues of bilateral cooperation between both the countries are concerned, or organizations. The UN, for example, is very important. We all the way, because of this show and many others, we had signed an MOU with the United Nations way back in 2014. So that was very important, because the UN, even an organization like the UN, thought PTV World was a channel that was important enough to be collaborating with. And I think this image building for Pakistan as well as for the other countries to give Pakistanis a point of view of what they stand for is very important. What do you think?
That's right, Omar. I think one of the greatest things that PTV has done, and of course which includes PTV World also, is to promote A, national integration, and B, also strengthen our bond with other countries, I think, while improving Pakistan's image internationally. And you rightly mentioned that how PTV of course speaks to the international community, how you interact with them, and you put forward Pakistan's perspective.
And they put forward their perspective as far as Pakistan is concerned. That's very interesting both ways. It's something that works both ways for Pakistan and for the other country or the other organization. A lot of firsts happen when it comes to PTV World and PTV World HD. We recently became HD. That is another first as well. It was a long time coming, but we have to thank our current channel head for all the efforts that he put in, Namood Muslim. The fact is also that many other firsts also came. The sign language. We are also a channel that airs bulletins with sign language. It started with PTV News in Urdu, and now in English we have carried on with the same tradition. How important is that also to look at the different other communities and as well and cater to them?
Yeah, I think for a channel to be sensitive to those who are differently abled, I think is also in conformity with the WHO guidelines on this particular issue. And also, of course, I think it shows how important PTV considers all segments that are, of course, part of its large viewership nationally and internationally. So I think it's very, very important.
When it comes to important international events as well, PTV World, and I have to say that because we have to at least highlight what we've done, and we've done so well when it comes to international events that have happened in Pakistan and abroad as well. Let's come with the SEO summit that recently happened last year in October. PTV World was there on all the huge screens that was present at the venue. I was there myself, and there were different countries that were there, and they all spoke one language, and that is where our channel came in, not only to highlight all that was happening around the SEO and otherwise, but also for the participants at the SEO to understand what Pakistan was all about.
Yeah, I think PTV played an outstanding role, in highlighting Pakistan's perspective, in of course bringing to the world the importance of the SEO conference, and of course the narrative that went out of there was that Pakistan was a country the countries of the world should understand better, and they should of course strengthen their bonds, explore opportunities in terms of business, and of course cultural relations between the countries. So I think PTV has been out there covering international events, international conferences, and it has of course been like a face of Pakistan abroad. So a very important initiative, as you mentioned.
Even in the recent US elections, we had two correspondents
Yes,
who were
yes,
there.
absolutely.
Fortunately for us, because we managed to talk to them, Jawad Tehami as well
Yes,
as
he was there.
Shehzad Qayyum, who were there, and we managed in my show and in other shows as well to talk directly to them and to understand what people were thinking as far as the whole election process was concerned. I think it's very important not only to have on ground people who we know and for them to give us a perspective as to what is happening around the world, but also for the people who are in those countries to know that we are here and we are happening and we are doing whatever we can to highlight the events across the world to Pakistan.
That's right. I think PTV did a great service in, of course, putting those correspondents on the ground for the sake of clarity also to the Pakistani audience, because you see the US election process is very complex, unlike other countries.
True.
So they were there on the ground explaining to the people, giving their analysis. So step by step, and I think for somebody like me, it was very, very helpful, in getting to know the entire US election process. And also I think it's great for the Pakistani diaspora, because this is one platform they can reach out to, and they can share their perspective, and also to promote the image of Pakistan in the respective countries.
True, and also to highlight all those important figures in all the different fields who have done wonders for Pakistan. I think the more we highlight it, the better, because the people who have been there on the front foot, on the back foot, on the on the back end as far as helping Pakistan achieve the successes it has, need to be also highlighted to a very foreign and global audience. That is why programs like Sky is the Limit that I began and now Farooq is doing is very, very important, because we have highlighted so many people from different avenues who have made a mark for Pakistan.
Oh, that's right. I think I've been a keen viewer of that particular program, and I feel that is a great service to the country, because of course people across the world should know the kind of talent Pakistan has, the kind
abundance of talent,
yes,
abundance of places to visit, so much that our culture, our traditions, our music has to offer. The more you dig in, the more you unearth.
Oh yes,
Pakistan is a treasure trove.
It is.
Absolutely.
It's unmatched.
Finally, Mazhar, I'd like to understand your perspective in all these 12 years as being part of this channel that you call a family, and I've been calling a family, and so many others, even my producer who's there, I'm sure, who's a new entrant as far as PTV World is concerned, but nevertheless he has a very rich history of working in the field, and he's, everybody has very positive things to say. What is your impression in all of these 12 years, the evolution of PTV World HD?
That's right. I think PTV, we started small to begin with. Of course, we had a niche audience, but we started small and grew with time from strength to strength. Of course, diversifying the different subjects that the PTV World has been dealing with, news analysis, programs, promoting the culture of Pakistan. And today, it's a strong 12-year-old child,
Yes, slowly etching into the teenage years, as we say.
Absolutely. And it's been great, serving PTV, serving Pakistan, going into people's homes with news, analysis.
That is based on facts, not fiction.
Absolutely. And I think that's where, we stand out.
That is where we will continue to stand out, Mazhar Nisar. Thank you very much to have joined us. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so happy today to celebrate 12 years of PTV World, which is now PTV World HD, and we hope that the coming months and years will bring you even more strong information that is correct, based on facts, and of course will entertain you, will inform you, and will educate you at the same time. Till then, Omar, Khalid bids you farewell. We'll see you inshallah tomorrow with news stories and segments that pertain to you, us, and Pakistan. Allah Hafiz.